everybody. Welcome to a special episode of Spiritual Spiral. Sam Davidson here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I have my amazing co-host, Sari Cohen. How you doing this week?
Oh, I'm great. I'm happy to be back with Alex this week.
Yes, and our spiritual advisor, good friend, guest for this episode, Alexander Mei, who is a Reiki healer. He's an intuitive, psychic. He basically does it all. He was in our first episode, so we've missed you. Thank you, Alex, for being here.
I'm so happy to be here too. Thank you. Yeah.
So catch us up, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I've gone through massive amounts of growth since the last time I've spoken to both of you. I started to see a hypnotherapist, energy worker, very multi-dimensional being, very similar to myself, in New York, named Elizabeth Trena. And Elizabeth and I have been doing a lot of work together on clearing working with my emotional wounding, right? So I started to realize recently that I was invoking a lot of relationships that didn't function from a place of nourishment. They functioned from a place of wounding. And ever since I started doing this work with her, my behavior patterns are different. I sleep better. I feel better. And I started to realize that there's a lot of people that become friends with each other because they also have emotional wounding, but it's not necessarily nourishing. So it's been very fascinating to, like, I spoke to Sam on the phone about this last night, and we had a wonderful conversation that made us closer as friends, which was really great. But I was able to hear Sam. Like, I could actually hear her, I could receive her, and I feel like I'm less reactive now as a person because I'm willing to see where the other person is coming from. Whereas what I was doing before is I was energetically auditing everything. Like when someone would say something, I would just say, well, let's clear it. And it's like, you can't just clear things all the time or bless things all the time. You have to see where someone is coming from and receiving who they are fully as a person before doing the clearing process. And so I've also, oh my God, you guys, I did a full moon in Scorpio event with my friend Melissa Genovese, where she did Kundalini and Kriya yoga. And I did energy clearings that were associated with planets and with the full moon in Scorpio. So the full moon in Scorpio was the accumulation of all of the abuse or repressed energy that we've held on to for thousands of years, and connecting the heart into the mind and taking people who usually are more head-centered to become more heart-centered. And then I did a free event for Canopy Events, which is out of San Francisco, and carved out an entirely new array of clients, which I'm so grateful for. And I've just been doing really well, you guys. Like I did a heavy metal detox cleanse too. So that was, what?
What was that?
Oh, okay. So where is, can I show you guys the bottle really quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Wow. That sounds amazing.
I know. I love that. He's been very much growing and evolving.
Yeah, I love the idea of detoxing right now, and that's just symbolism on every level, because I feel like detoxing, that's what I'm craving right now. It's just this.
Yeah.
Let's see it. What is it?
Let's see this.
So it's called the Cleaner. So it's the ultimate body detox, and it's not about losing weight, but it says it helps remove waste pounds. So this is it right here. And so this is the men's formula, but there's a women's formula, and it has a vast amount of wormwood inside of it, which is really good for clearing out parasites, but also for clearing out heavy metals as well. Also, I've been drinking, it's gross, I'm not gonna lie, but cilantro and water. So yeah, I know. But what it does is it pulls the heavy metals out and the toxins out of your body as well. And I'm gonna be doing that for, I just got off of this cleanse, and I'm gonna be doing that for like 2 months.
Wow. You know,
Yeah.
there's certain people, like it has something to do with your, I don't know, DNA or whatever it is, that cilantro tastes like soap to people. It doesn't taste like it does. So that's what it tastes like to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I can't eat it.
Cilantro tastes like cilantro to me. I just don't like it. Just, there's something about it. If it's in my, I'm not a fan of like cilantro, basil, like those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Just
yeah, you just be good taking the cleaner, because the cleaner, it's like, it's in pill form, and it's very gentle. It's not intense. It definitely makes you poop though, but it's, I mean, that's whatever. But like it changed my skin, my stomach. I just feel better, you know, in general. And also, like, I'm just happier, you guys, in general. I just feel happier. So
great. Is it because you've gotten more work, or because of these supplements, or what do you think it is?
I think it's all of those. Well, I know it's all of those things, because I made a promise to myself after the last call that we had with each other that I would dedicate my life to doing everything that I can to take care of myself more. Whether this quarantine ends or stays the same, I'm like past that. I've already adapted to that. We're like living now. We're not in the quarantine anymore. We're living. So I've decided, and I made a choice, that I would, for the rest of my life, take care of myself and funnel all of my money into my business and into my body from now on. Yeah.
Good. I love that. I think I totally agree with you. I think at first it was this kind of shocky adjustment of how are we going to live in this thing, this quarantine thing.
Yeah.
But right, every day is a choice. I mean, you get past this point of you can only feel bad for so long until it's your responsibility.
Yeah.
To do something. That's up to you. What you do every day is up to you. So yeah, while I'm still, don't judge where you're at and kind of roll with where you're at. Every day I wake up and it is a conscious decision to do the best that I can for myself and to pay attention to what I need, because there were things in this life before that really didn't get the energy that it deserved because other things were taking priority, because work was taking priority. And now, while there is still work and we're doing it in a different way, there's also these sides of myself that I'm feeling like, oh, I'm eating better, I'm working out more, I'm really paying attention to what's going on inside in a way that I wasn't before, or I didn't have to before. And now there is that need to detox on every level where I'm just like, work it out.
Oh, I totally understand that. And also the other thing I was going to tell you, speaking of detoxing on all levels, I used to really enjoy watching YouTube, and I think Sam brought up cancel culture earlier. I'm really like not interested anymore in hearing about any more scandals. Like I feel like the YouTube community has completely turned into just like beauty guru makeup scandals, and then that's it. I can't watch it. I used to be able to. I used to think that it was very entertaining, but now it's just like, it's the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm such a nerd. Now I just watch like video game tutorials and like how to like make, like I posted these really cute photos of my mom and I on Instagram, and I did it with Canva on my laptop, and they're really great high quality photos, and I did them on my own in like 5 minutes. So it's like, I'd rather just funnel my energy into my art. I did watch a movie recently, you guys, that was really fucking incredible, called Starfish. And if you guys ever get a chance to watch it, you should watch it. It's on Hulu.
I've
Yeah.
heard of it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense though. So don't try to understand it. But it's an incredible movie. If you've ever seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, you would like it a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah, nothing really makes sense anymore. I guess it's funny because I'm so happy for you guys that you are growing and evolving, and I'm sure I am too on some level, but it's like, okay, if you are still, I mean, we're in California, technically we are still supposed to be, you know, in quarantine to an extent. I've been kinder to myself a little bit, you know, saying like, I need to see my friend. I'm allowed to invite my friend up to the roof and we can tan and drink White Claws for like 4 hours and talk.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And I needed it so badly. Anytime, and because I've been alone, anytime I get any kind of human interaction, it's so funny, it charges me. But then when I kind of have a little bit of an addictive personality, I think. So when it's over, I'm like, I need more. Like, I need more. It like gets me high now, I feel like, to be around human beings and to talk to people in person. But yeah, I'm, you know, slowly just like trying to come out of my shell and wear masks. I splurged. I paid $25, which is so silly. I mean, for a like tie-dye face mask.
Oh, cool.
Whatever. You know what? Like, I splurged on a face mask. Who would think, and not, you know, face the thing that goes over your mouth. So yeah, it's been an interesting time, and for people that are watching and listening, we'd love to hear from you and hear your stories about how you've changed or the struggles that you've had during this time, questions that keep on arising. And so in today's episode, I thought it'd be really interesting and fun, since we all are in this Hollywood culture, we're in Los Angeles, to focus on celebrities in Hollywood. And it was an idea that I had when we first started this. When quarantine first started, celebrities were a really big topic of conversation. Just in like, there was conspiracy theories about things going on, and celebrities just seemed to be reacting to this differently. And now I think, like you mentioned, Alex, cancel culture is something that has become a lot more prevalent, because these celebrities are, you know, going on their Instagram lives, whatever, just literally, I'm shocked I haven't seen anyone on the toilet. Like, nobody needs to be showing every part of their life. Like, when you guys are on Instagram, do you get so frustrated? It's like, it gives you a drop down notification that says so-and-so is going live, so-and-so is going live. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care.
Everybody's got a platform today. I mean, that's the crazy part about it. Yeah, absolutely. And I still can't get used to, as much as everybody's doing these live streams and it's so great and inventive and you're seeing them on TV now, I still can't get used to it. Like yesterday there was that thing that I was watching with Mandy Moore and Justin Hartley. And Sam, we've gotten them on the This Is Us, right? So we've been on the carpet doing interviews with actors like from This Is Us, and watching them side by side on this screen, I still, as inventive as it is and as great as it is, I can't get used to this, you guys. I'm just not on board with what is, you know, I know we're all making the best of it, but I want things to eventually, you know, resemble what they once looked like eventually.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, like, we can't stay inside forever. And there's already people like going to the beach. There's already people like, it's like, I think me personally, I believe that this whole stay inside thing, they took it too far, right? And now they can't take it back because they took it too far. And now all of us are just kind of like, you know, we're not going to stay inside forever. It's not, see, this is the thing, is that people say, well, it's a matter of staying healthy and not contracting the virus. But the thing is that it's not just about that. It's about our need to want to connect with each other. If humans do not have human to human connection, they get sick. they die. It's scientifically proven that if we do not have a connection to each other, we feel ill. That's like what we crave. It's what we desire from each other. And just doing it through a phone screen is not enough all the time, you know?
Yeah.
It's not.
And I mean, do you think, Alex, that during this time, well, first of all, I don't want to go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, but just,
No.
but you know,
No.
the tie that celebrity had to this, as far as certain, like Tom Hanks, his wife, they were one of the first people. Like, I was on a carpet and I was next to Extra, and literally the woman goes, "Oh my God, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson have the coronavirus." Like, that was, and it was just like this huge, like, boom. And that was the last carpet I ever did, like, until this happened. So as far as like the tie to celebrity within this, what do you feel is the connection? Is there any kind of connection? Like, you know, are they kind of, are they influencers for the coronavirus to be like, guys, we got it, stay in, like, stay healthy, so they can be a voice to influence the public? Like, what do you think about that?
I feel the message that's coming through very strong, and this is something I've been wanting to say on a public platform for a long time, is that we forget, and we have forgotten, is that it is we the people of the United States, not other people saying you are the people.
Okay.
And that's been the problem for a very, very long time, is that we've made celebrities, we've made government officials, we've made all of these people to lead us, when we have all of the power. We've always had all the power, and we have the availability to be able to connect to each other through a community. But the problem is, when you give your power away, when you put someone on a pedestal and make them seem like they are better than you, or that they can lead you better, you actually disempower yourself. So we've literally been disempowering ourselves for at least a century now, if not longer.
Yeah.
If not longer.
I mean, it even goes to the royal family. The royal family always baffles my mind, because it's funny.
Right.
I feel like they don't even really do anything.
It's just a figurehead. Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, you're giving your money to charities and you're doing things for charitable causes, but it's also like, what about all of us on a global scale in each continent? What is it that we are doing to help each other?
Yeah.
Not a marginalized, like, sect or group, or like talking about the 1% or just the LGBT community or blah blah blah. It's like, what about all of us?
Yeah. We are a collective. Like, to your point, Sam, I actually thought, I was in Puerto Rico when I got the news about Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, and that was everywhere. And to me, that almost normalized them, where it's like, oh my God, this hit people, that obviously are big celebrities, are in the news all the time, people that we idolize, but also, Sam, people that we can connect with. Like, these are people that we're doing carpets with all the time. And when that happened, I was like, oh, they're shutting down Hollywood. If they're acceptable, and then it's like, you know, I saw this thing, we were talking about Harrison Ford in an article where they were saying, like, why jeopardize Harrison Ford's life when you can do an interview virtually, you know? So it's that kind of thing, to that point, I think. As far as
with Rita Wilson, oddly enough, 3 to 4 weeks before quarantine happened, I interviewed her on the carpet at this benefit that she has every year for breast cancer awareness. And it was odd, because at this same exact benefit, the year before, I was there also, and I freaking interviewed Lori Loughlin weeks before the college admission scandal happened. Like, it was, and me and my camera guy just kept on being like, Sam, wish you could be more psychic, because you should have asked her about her kids, about her daughters, because that would have been a freaking story, and how they're doing at college. But, you know, it definitely normalizes things, and, you know, makes people feel connected in a way that, you know, okay, if it can happen to them, then I guess I have to take this seriously. Like all of the money in the world can't protect you from
No,
this.
yeah, and everybody's susceptible to it. And when you know that somebody who has that kind of power is, or influence is susceptible, it kind of shakes up the whole infrastructure. And to your point, Alex, like I think this is exactly when we should be thinking about other people. You know, we do need human connection, and we absolutely need, like Sam, like what you're doing. It's important to remember growth is painful. What you're doing right now is growing, but you taking precautions and being able to be with somebody to recharge is also equally important to your growth. So yes, it's important to be safe. It's also important to really think about other people at this time. This is a time when we need to not be so selfish, you know, it's other people's safety that really we need to think about, their well-being.
Yeah.
You know,
It's become a really difficult balance because, again, like to what you said, Alex, mental health turns into physical health. And what if, let's say, we save ourselves from the coronavirus, but instead we get something else, God forbid, because of the mental turned physical results of what this quarantine has done to us. So, I mean, I was a huge advocate. Like, I was getting so angry with people the past couple of months, you know, like, stay the fuck home. Like, what are you doing? And I don't like selfish people. I hate selfish people. And now, you know, my opinion has changed a teeny bit. And I feel like I am evolving in that way, seeing all sides of it. But what's been interesting is that even from the get-go with celebrities, people, you know, are in their mansions, the celebrities doing TikToks. Like, I'm home in the house, I'm in the house board. It's like, why? You have a pool, a movie theater, basically a jungle in your backyard, you know, and it's like they became unrelatable. So I guess my question for you, Alex, is how do you see the future of celebrity culture changing after this?
Oh. Well, I mean, the thing is that Hollywood is definitely going through a rebirth process, and so reassessing itself, and a lot of things are going virtual. I mean, someone who I'm really, really, really close to works for UTA, right? And so she's on calls all the time with like different celebrities and stuff like that, and is constantly brokering deals and stuff like that for them. So it's still going. Like the background of it is still going. But as far as like how the culture will be in the future, it will not be the same. I personally feel and intuitively feel that it's going to come from a very, very different place. It's going to come from a different place of being instead of doing. And people, there's going to be celebrities that are going to come out of the woodwork that actually speak for the people instead of speaking for the system. And that's been needing to happen for like a very long time. So we require actual artists now. We don't require singers that can't sing and people who are just robots. We don't require that anymore. And so the whole system is going to get shifted around because, yeah, people are seeing the truth. They're seeing the truth of, I'll give you an example. So when you think of Hollywood and you think of Tinseltown and you think of smoke and mirrors and the glitz and the glamour and all of that stuff, the party is over, you know? It's over. The party's over. So it's like the American populace, they require leaders. They require real leaders, but people are able to see through the bullshit now, and they're able to see through the facade. So for Hollywood to be able to revive itself and to be able to evolve, they need to have more singers and songwriters and people who are actual leaders, not people who are just like, bless up, praise Jesus, like, I mean, actually being about it. Like, I love me some Jesus. I love God, but that's because I actually have a connection to God. It's not the faking it till you make it connection to God. And that's the part that's sorely lacking. It's like all about the way that you look, but there's no substance. And so now what's going to start happening is you're going to see a resurgence of artists that actually work on themselves from the inside and out, you know? And we're seeing bits and pieces of it in like hip hop culture online, where like a lot of rappers and hip hop people are talking about crystals and the Anunnaki and stuff like that. And that's cool, you know, but there's got to be some more. Like, there's got to be more that's got to come out of that. It can't just be like, wow, I'm stoned and I love crystals. Like, it's like we gotta do some more than just that, you know.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I grew up around hip hop culture in Virginia, so I get it. I understand it, but there has to be. We got to do more. We got to do better, you know.
Completely.
I'm really like just like.
I love this. No, I'm wondering though, because there is, everybody does want to connect now. They are looking for deeper connections, and there is a lot of reflection going on. I'm wondering, because of the platform that we have, you know, everybody's doing Insta Lives. Everybody's kind of hopping on these same platforms. Do you think it evens the playing field a little bit?
I feel like the playing field is very even. I mean, even speaking for myself, like, my business is flourishing, but it's flourishing because people it's interesting, because I've had a couple of friends say to me, well, is it just because people are bored and they want healing, or is it because people want healing and they just never realized they required it until they were inside? So the thing is like, when I was talking to another person about this, but like, abuse is passed down genetically. It's scientifically proven. And so there's all of us, all of our ancestors, because we're all from this century, are getting triggered by the corona, because it's reminding us of any time our ancestors went through war or plagues or starvation, right? Or they were being suppressed.
Yeah.
So people are coming to me subconsciously because they don't want to hold on to that anymore, right? And so even on a platform of Instagram, like, I used to think, oh, I need to like pay for followers, or I need to like get more followers because then the work will get out there to people. But I only have like, I think like above 3,000, and I'm seeing a lot of clients. So it's not about numbers. That's the other thing that I really want people to understand, especially from this conversation that we're having with each other, that just because someone has 1 million followers or 500,000 followers, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
Well,
it means nothing.
I think what this quarantine and the virus really has done with celebrity culture in a way is lifted up the veil.
Yeah.
That glitz and that glamour, it's not so pretty anymore. So if you are a pretty person, like on the inside, and actually have messages you want to share, that things that you're passionate about that are positive, that shines through. And I think those people have gained a lot of followers during this time. And
Yeah.
there's something specific I kind of wanted to mention. I know that neither of you guys, I don't think, watch The Bachelor. I could be a Bachelor connoisseur. Like, I could have a master's degree in The Bachelor. I listen to podcasts and people will be like, oh, I think on that season she picked so-and-so as the runner-up. And I'm like, nope, she didn't. It was this person. Like, I know. I don't know why. It's a thing. But the Bachelorette, our last Bachelorette, Hannah Brown, she became this like America's sweetheart. Like, she won Dancing with the Stars last year. And she didn't find love. It was a big mess, but people just became obsessed with her. Then she won that show, and it was, I'm not saying she's a bad person in any way, but she's a very young girl from the South. And she has been doing Instagram lives like so much, to the point where I don't need to hear your fitness routines. Like, I don't need to hear what you're eating every day. Like, I really don't. And she was a little tipsy on an Instagram live, and she, she has like over like a couple million followers, and she was singing one of the TikTok songs that people are all dancing to, and the song has the N-word in it. And yeah, I mean, her career might be over, no joke. So
God.
she sings the N-word, and then people are like, "What did you just say? What did you just say?" And you're seeing her, and so obviously she deleted it, but then people took screen recordings, blah blah blah. And I mean, she was, I think, repped by some of the biggest agents, probably CAA or something, or WME. I think she probably was trying to get into acting and do all of these things. And she made an apology that basically just was like a little written Instagram story, not even her face, being like, "I am mortified. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. That is so wrong. I should have never said that. Whatever." And people are just not accepting this apology. And Bachelor Nation is this group of like millions of followers of people. And a lot of the people that have been on the Bachelor shows have spoken out, and they don't want any connection to her anymore. And this was basically her ticket for the rest of her life. And she's kept completely quiet. So I just think it's a very interesting case study. I'm not saying she's, a bad person, because when she said it, it didn't seem like she was saying it in a way that had any real like meaning or anything behind it, but it still doesn't make it okay completely, like so messed up. But I'm just curious, kind of like what you think. Is this cancel culture, is this a good thing for situations like this? Is this a bad thing? Because it's kind of breaking it all down to America's sweethearts.
Well, I think the problem that happens is that when we, like, yes, was it totally incorrect for her to do that? 100%. Is it a contribution to make her feel horrible about it? Probably not. But at the same time, it's like, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of African American people that are tired of white girls like drunk saying the N-word on a daily basis. I mean, I'm not an African American person, so I can't speak for them, but I grew up around a lot of African American people, and if you drop the N-word, you get punched. So it's like, there was times in Virginia where I had a lot of girlfriends that said that it was okay for me to say it, but I used to say it like 10 years ago. I don't say it anymore. It's just not I can't speak from that place. Do you know what I mean? But as far as like publicly, like if you want someone to give a public apology, and a group of people are asking this person to give a public apology, and then they give like a half-assed Twitter without even just doing a video, it is kind of like, it's like, well, you're kind of phoning it in at that point. And also she's very young, but again, guys, this is the problem, is that we set these people up knowing that they're going to be followed by so many people, and they're not mature, they're not emotionally intelligently mature, they don't have any pretty much any life skills, and people are just following them all the time. And the problem is that we don't understand that it's just entertainment, right? Like, people don't understand the difference between this is entertainment and this is also a real person. But the problem that happens is when we start following that person and thinking that that person can do no wrong and that they can't make mistakes and stuff like that. There's two sides of it. You're signing contracts and letting the entire world see you and everything that you're doing, and you can't make any mistakes at all whatsoever. And that's a lot of pressure. But then you're doing it, So for me, I see both sides of it. I see she didn't make a mistake. She was drunk and she did something and it was incorrect, and she should have corrected the behavior. She didn't do in my eyes, this is just my personal opinion, she didn't do the correct way of dealing with it. And you can blame it on her PR person, but that's about her, right?
Yeah, and I mean, so there's only been one African-American bachelor or bachelorette, and her name is Rachel Lindsay, and it's really a shame because she based any kind of race issue that comes up in the show, they're like, Rachel, what do you think? And she's just like, oh, like, you know, okay, fine, I'll be this voice. And so she went on a live and on Instagram and said she had reached out to Hannah Brown to have a public conversation with her about learning from this, and that she wasn't, you know, she was upset by the behavior, but she wanted to teach her and help her. And so, yeah, Hannah denied that. And so I think basically people can make mistakes.
Wow.
And they will make mistakes, but it's about how you handle it. And yeah, I mean, this is someone that won Dancing with the Stars like this past year. Like, it was crazy. Sari, what do you think about the situation?
I mean, I think it goes back to saying kind of what we were talking about Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson. Like, you guys, they're just people. Celebrities we're all human. We are all cut from the same cloth. And you're right, Alex, when you put someone up on a pedestal like that, you have to remember they are human. They are going to make mistakes. They are going to, you know, you don't, not to say you don't really know somebody, but you know, we are at that place where, you know, we're getting to know what people are like. You're on Insta Live, you're going live drunk, you're doing these things. People are seeing your home. They're having the phone ring and the cat cry.
Like, whose cat was that?
Johnny's, you know, trying to chime in on the conversation. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, this is real life, and that's important to remember. So yes, while she's a celebrity and she's out there, she is you know, she's kind of, things are happening now, and she's likely to say a thing or two. She doesn't have her publicist standing over here. She's likely to say a thing or two that's gonna, you know, could get her into some trouble. She's not thinking, not her you know, her brain isn't there. So I mean, not that it's not there, but you know what I mean. You don't have somebody watching over you guiding what you're saying. So,
Also the other thing I wanted to respond back with, and I really like what you just said, love, I really appreciated you sharing that, is that with I watched a video about this on YouTube, and I wish I could remember the name of the person, but it was talking about how it's still an issue with young white kids appropriating Black culture, even on TikTok. Like, for example, a lot of those TikTok dances that you see that are done by Charlie D'Amelio and all those people, they were all originally done by an African-American person. And you don't see any of those views for those African-American people. And I watched the videos and I saw it, and I was like, I just feel, and I've been feeling this for a really long time, is that yes, Hannah is a young woman and she's going to make mistakes, but it's like, how long are we going to continue to perpetuate this sort of self-entitled appropriation? Where do you draw the line? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that to me is a question to ask. It's like, when are we going to give more light and shed more light onto more African American people and give them the spotlight, instead of being like, oh, it must be so hard for you as an African American woman struggling in the industry. It's like, well, we don't have to if you would change your mental process around that. It's a very huge, this is a big thing that also needs to change in the industry as well. Like, when is the I don't care how much time we have. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, we have enough. It's on, you know, I know you have something to do, but like, we're good, don't worry about it.
I'm starting to get heated about this. So for example, also, I'm tired of watching movies like Brokeback Mountain and Call Me by Your Name, where the main character doesn't end up with the main character and fucking dies. Like, it's like, these things keep getting perpetuated, right? And it's like, I would love to see an out celebrity that's completely and utterly gay and doesn't retract going back into the closet. Do you know what I mean? Like, that to me that is something that I want to watch. I don't want to continue to watch these like immature, like haven't lived in the world type of people as leaders. It's just not, it doesn't resonate with me anymore. They're cute. They're cute, but it's like, sorry, it doesn't resonate anymore.
I think the big message is that we need new leaders. I mean, you're right. We are the people. I keep having this conversation also with, you know, everybody keeps saying them, us, them. We are the people.
Yeah.
And we are calling for leadership on every level in a way that is authentic and real and, you know, not to be captivated by a stereotype or a story that we all like to tell ourselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, unfortunately, our, you know, I don't mean to offend anybody, but our actual leadership in the United States with our president, like that turned into celebrity culture because he was a celebrity, you know. And I know there was Ronald Reagan and things like that. And then when, you know, after Trump was president, all these celebrities, you know, freaking Kanye West, people talked about Oprah being president, you know, all these different kinds of people. And it's just, and there's a lot of celebrities that have been trying to get into politics for a long time. And the ones that have legitimately tried to get into politics, not just I want to be president one day, but, you know, I want to make a difference. I want to be, you know, on Congress, or I want to be in the Senate, you know, those kinds of things, I think could be powerful given the power that we, the people, give them on a regular basis. So I think that this is just all a lesson that we need to be so much more careful who we give our power to, who we look up to. Like I said, with Hannah Brown, she's not a fitness enthusiast. Yeah, she has a great body, but I'm going to actually pay for my beach body on demand and look at those women to give me fitness tips and to show me how to work out. Like, I don't need to look to a reality star to do that. And it's a rude awakening for a lot of people. And I just think that this time people go, oh, we're inside. It's like nobody can see us. But in a way, you can see people now more than you ever could before.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even like, you know, in terms of people on Instagram or people that even I've looked up to on Instagram that I even know in LA, I can see the truth with people now, and I can see the way that people treat each other out in public. And I just want everyone to know that what you see on the screen is, there's a difference between what you're saying and being that. And there's a difference between your actions and talking about your actions. So even within the last like month, I've seen a lot of truths with people. And that doesn't mean that I'll never hang out with those people again, or I'll never be around those people again. But it's shown me that this is nothing. Like, it is a contribution that we're all talking to each other and talking about things that really need to be brought to light. But at the end of the day, it's what you do when you put your phone down. Mm-hmm. It's about your interactions with each other. And I'm just going to keep saying this over and over again, like, until things start to change. But at the end of the day, all we have is each other. And if any of you think that are watching this right now and you're thinking that you need to like be like this and worrying about yourself and your own life, you got some screws missing, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I think ironically, it's interesting that you know, everybody's using stuff like Instagram, and weirdly enough, people don't have filters anymore. I think that's what we're seeing is the more they try to filter, the more they lose a little bit of that facade, you know.
Yeah.
All the facades are gone, you know.
Yeah,
like I said, I mean, I'm surprised we are not seeing people on the toilet. I mean, I'm obsessed with those videos though, where people are on company Zooms, and there's like a bunch of them, and you see, and all of a sudden you see all the little squares of people go, oh no, and start laughing, and someone's on the toilet and they don't realize, and then the boss is like, what's going on? And all of a sudden the girl's camera turns off. It's absolutely amazing.
My favorite was the one where the boss turned herself into a potato by accident. She couldn't figure out how to get it. I was like, listen, this is the reality. I was telling you guys know what I came from today. The reality is we all have these lives, and as I'm going to say a million times over, it's like we are all in the same ocean, but we're all in different boats.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this in just because I don't really think the person will hear it. And it's just something that I think it was funny. It hurt, but it was funny looking back on it. You know, I as I told the audience a couple weeks ago, I got laid off from my job that I adored and that I loved. And the call that I had with my boss, which, you know, I had this intuitive feeling, and he wanted to Zoom with me. So I was like, that must not be good. He wants to be face to face. But he pops up on my computer in front of the Louvre in Paris as his backdrop. And I'm like, oh, okay, like he's not gonna lay me off or fire me. Well, he has this ridiculous freaking background on his Zoom thing, and he did. And I was just like, wow, this is epic. I'm sitting here looking at you in front of this fake thing, like you're in Paris. I'm losing like my livelihood. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Like, wow, it's a new normal that people are getting used to, and it's difficult. One of the last things I wanted to talk about, because I really wanted, Alex, like your kind of intuitive feeling on it, is Ellen DeGeneres. I think it's kind of fascinating. So Us Weekly, I do probably give them too much credit because I do consider them, they're below People, like People I trust. And then there's Us Weekly, like People magazine. Anyways, Us Weekly, the magazine, like when you went to the grocery store and you pick up a magazine, Ellen DeGeneres was on the cover a week or two ago. And there's been all these Twitter rumors, all these people that have worked for her have come out and released all these stories. It's something on the inside. I don't know if you've heard this before, Sari, but there's just been little whisperings, like she's actually really not nice. She might give a lot of money to all these different people, but she's actually like really awful to work for. And I don't know what's going to happen when this is all over. I mean, Ellen DeGeneres is by far one of the most influential women in our country, if not the world. So I kind of just wanted to get your opinion, and the fact that Us Weekly made this article, the cover story about this. Like, what does that mean?
I feel that the world I think that making people look like they can do no wrong, and making people look like they're perfect, and making people look like they're saints creates a false sense of awareness in other people. And in regards to Ellen DeGeneres, there's a lot of information coming up about her in regards to the crew and like the people on her show, and if they're getting paid or not, or people getting laid off and things like that. And it's like, I want to believe that it's not true, you know, but at the same time, it's like there's a lot of evidence piling up, and there's a lot of things coming up about it. And I just hope that she chooses to respond in a way that is real and is truthful, you know, because if she doesn't, if she just kind of brushes it off, then it's just going to basically validate everything that everyone is saying, pretty much.
And I mean, Sari, I'm sure like we both have one of the same dreams, which is, how badly would you want to be co-host with me in Ellen's seat? Like,
that would be a fun thing to do. You guys, yeah.
And so, I mean, I guess, like, do you think that, because before all, like, Oprah wasn't Oprah before she was Oprah. Like, Oprah wasn't some celebrity. She was some normal person. that got
Yeah.
this job and killed it. And
Yep.
you know, Ellen definitely like had a following and all that, and Ellen has done a lot for the LGBTQ community, which I think is amazing. But you know, do you think that there's now maybe more room for people like me and Sari to rise up the ranks?
There are more people, there are other people. That's the thing is like people don't understand is that we all could be an Ellen, we all could be a James Corden.
Mm-hmm.
We all could be that. It just depends on the team that you have around you and your belief in yourself. Do you know what I mean? And so if you have that drive and if you have that belief in yourself, you can do it. And I'm going to tell you guys something, because this is what I really feel about Ellen, despite all the logical stuff. I feel like she's just been doing this for so long that she's kind of phoning it in at this point, and that she's become so so stressed out at the same time. And everyone thinks like, well, if you have all this money, how can you get stressed out? But when you're an artist, when you're a comedian, when you're someone who likes to talk to people on stage, having a talk show is a different story, you know, and having people constantly seeing you as this kind and loving and charitable individual, I would start to react. Me personally, I would start to, if I didn't have days where I could just like let it all out and let it go. And when I look at her, because I read people like I read tarot cards, I see someone who is very angry, and who has a lot of repressed emotional intensities. And I'm not so sure that she's been able to properly express those things to people. Because you take a look at it, you guys, when you're expected to be something all the time, you take on that expectation. So like she could just quit if she wanted to, but now she feels like she has to take on this burden as opposed to this job at this point. So intuitively, that's what I'm picking up on, is that she's just not enjoying it like she used to. You know, she's like phoning it in. And once you start doing that, that's when you start to get really angry and stuff, and you start acting out, you know. So that's my intuitive feeling around it. Deep down, we're all, at the end of the day, if you take away all the programming and all of the things about what they're saying about her and Twitter and all of those things, like deep down, we're all good people. But it's just when you are constantly trying to build this wall around you of like money, success, and fame, and you start to forget who you are, that's when things start to get out of whack energetically. And I feel that from her. I feel like she's built up too much protection around herself to protect her from interacting with people and to actually connecting with people. And even Nikki Tutorials, she was talking about how they treated her very poorly, and she didn't even get to talk to Ellen, and she was interviewed by Ellen. See what I mean? It's all there. All the information is there. She's not a horrible person, you know. It's just obvious that she's just something's off, you know. Something weird is going on, you know.
100%. What are your feelings on her, Sari?
I mean, I would agree. I've never interacted with her. You know, I've never had an instance like that. I've heard all the same stuff we've all heard. It's usually, for me, Alex, I'm like you. I read a person and I vibe with their energy, and I'm certainly, I understand people will have bad days. You know, there are people I've interviewed twice where I'm like, one day I could see, you know, I could see the difference on when you're getting a specific energy. But if your goal is to connect, or you do something to connect with people and you've stopped yourself from doing that, I could certainly see how that would play out and would build up energetically. So yeah, I would agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, you guys, I'm dying. I don't know what the person upstairs is doing. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my God, it's like, I don't think it's sex. I kind of wish it was, because I would be like happy for them. But they're
not for sex, but like, you know, weird.
Something. Yeah, like something.
Why? Shut up. But yeah, you guys, this was such a fun conversation. And I mean, like Sari and I, this is our bread and butter. For those that don't know, you know, I miss interviewing celebrities, and I miss, honestly, I even a little bit miss celebrities being rude to me. Like, I will say, I just, you know, it's kind of scary for us that we don't know when that's going to come back, I guess, any of it, or if it will, if we just had our joyride on that carpet, magic carpet, and, you know, we're done on the magic carpet. So anyways, Alex, we love you so much. Thank you.
Oh, you too.
If you know, you guys, Alex is an amazing healer. He does things, he can do things on the phone, all of that. So like, where can they find you if they would like to do any kind, because you have so many different services that you offer?
So you can find me on my website at alexandermei.com. And then I'm also, that's MEI.com. And then you can also find me on Instagram at Alex Mei Today. And that's MEI again. So yeah.
Awesome. And Sari, where can everyone find you? Because you have some amazing stuff you're still doing, and I'm so happy for you.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. I just want to say, I mean, you guys know I'm at the Savvy Scribbler, TheSavvyScribblar. But before time runs out, I want to say an extra special thank you to you two, because I just love and adore you both, and your beautiful energy as my phone rings. I love being able to do this with you at this time, anytime. But
yeah,
thank you.
I love this. It's like there's someone banging upstairs, the phone is ringing. Like, this is the new future of entertainment. It's just things that we really cannot control at all. And guys, I just want to say too that I've gotten some of your messages, and I so appreciate people that are enjoying this and getting things from it, because I truly am. So if you guys like want to talk about a specific subject or ask a specific question, we are so open to that and to asking our guests that. So please, you know, write us, message us. It's Spiritual Spiral Show on Instagram. And then you can find me, Sam Davidson, at SamD43 on Instagram. And oh, I love you both, and very excited of what we've created. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, you guys.
You're very welcome. Everyone, will see you next time.